Hey guys, we are live. This is MyCollectables. Thanks for coming out today. This is official Veve Comics roundtable discussion with our beta testers that have been, putting this whole thing in the background together. This is officially brought to you by Veve, and I really want to shout out Renee and Diana for helping to set this up from the Veve team. And I want to thank you guys for all showing up today to watch this. This is going to be a lot of fun. We got multiple guests coming up today. We got Damon, we got Michael Campa, we got Mr. MC1, and we got Keo right here. And it's going to be such an amazing thing that we have. Let's bring them all up on stage right now and say hi. There's Damon. There's Keo right here. There's Michael, and there's Mr. MC1. The crew.
Hello.
How you guys doing?
Hello.
Hello, everybody. Hey guys, how's everybody doing?
Oh, really great, man. By the way, Mr. MC1, you're traveling right now, right?
I am. Apologies to everybody. I'm actually in a car on my way back to Dallas, but thankfully pulled over to do this.
Thankfully.
So apologies for the background and any noise as well. But really an honor to be here, MC. Thank you very much for hosting, and what an incredible panel. Happy to be here.
Yeah, for sure. We'll go around the horn, you guys, and give you a chance to say hi really quickly right here. Here's our guest list right here. Let's get right into it because people are waiting. Don't you worry, everybody. I know that Veve's got the Veve Comics is going to be live again at 12 p.m. Pacific time for purchases of the comics after the, the payment stuff that happened yesterday that we all went through, of course. So that's going to happen at 12 noon. So we'll be done before then so you guys can get in there and go and start buying some of these comics. I did put out a video about my top 5 picks. I know you guys have your stuff. We'll talk about that at the very end, right before, about what comics you're going to go after. But let's go with topic number 1 is going to be your quick story right here. Let's start with Damon right here. Let's tell us your quick story about, how you got involved with the beta testing and just where you are in the app.
Sure. So I've been in the app since March of 2021, and I originally got into it by looking for a digital collectibles platform that I could use fiat for. So, I had some crypto, but it was really my main reason for finding this place. And so I've been in it since the first Ultraman drop. And the rest is history. A couple Comic-Cons later, and just still loving it. And super active on the official Discord. One of the top users. I run the Dungeons and Veve in there, like live role playing that we do. And just definitely someone who's big on this community. And I think that's why I was, picked to be one of these beta testers.
That is awesome, man. That's awesome. We got Keo right here. How you doing?
Hello. Yes.
Love your background, by the way, as well.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. It's a part of it's just, it's a collector at heart thing.
Yeah. What's your story? And how did you get involved?
I've been in the app since about the same time that Damon came in. I think I was in here around March or April of 21. And I came from the crypto side as well.
Yeah.
And just kind of stumbled upon it from talking with people in Discords and different forums and discussion groups and things, and jumped in and absolutely, have loved collecting comics, my whole life, and different various other collectibles. And, it just really brought out a passion. It just kind of resurrected a passion in me that, I hadn't felt for a long time. And, it was history since then. Very active in the Discord. Love the people and the community there. Met some really incredible people. A lot of fun things to do in there. I've attended about 6 different events, I guess, for Veve, and just I traveled and tried to meet the people and meet David and Dan, and as soon as I met them and things, it was history. I was pretty much all in, and said, well, this is amazing to see, people that have had such a great vision and passion for what they do and have brought it to us. So
that's awesome, man, for sure. We got Michael in the house. How you doing, Michael? What's your story, my friend?
Yeah, I was a collector as a kid, but I moved away from it, and I wasn't more in the investor side. I've been holding crypto since forever, so I came to the app through Omi. I downloaded the app on April, and I didn't buy anything until November when Bart and Homer dropped. was my first collector that it made me go for, actually. And then after that, I was hooked. Start collecting like an insane person in the app and in physical. So that's what I am right now, big time collector, enjoying the passion.
That is awesome, my friend, right there. And then we got Mr. MC1 Sanjay on the road, traveling back from the South by Southwest. Thanks for joining us today. What's your quick story?
Thank you very much for hosting, MC. I'm very grateful and honored to be on your show and with this very distinguished panel. I've been in the app since August of 2021. I have over 4,000 comics. I like collecting Marvel Comics 1, and I'm not sure how they picked me to be part of the beta test, but I'm just super blessed and honored to be amongst the 6 people that they identified to be in this beta, and also really happy with being on this channel and sharing any perspectives and thoughts here. So hi everybody, and thank you all for tuning in to MC, who's just an amazing content creator, and just can be more excited to do this on his channel.
Oh, thank you so much, guys. That's awesome. Let's get into the topic to your first impression. And we can talk a little bit about some of the day one issues, but mostly it's your first impression about the app once it launched. You guys are the testers. You saw it all from before. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. But Damon, let's start with you. What was your first impression like once it went live? You saw the app go in there, and also your impressions about like from where you were as a beta tester to like how it rolled out. I know there were some issues on day one, obviously they're working through, but how did that go for you for your first for the first day?
Well, I'd say like as outside of the beta testing, as far as just the first day when we, many of us, maybe not all of us, got a chance to use it before the issue. Very smooth. The ability to put multiple in your cart to buy at once was something that's obviously new for us. So it did consolidate that whole process, so you could just do a bunch and just get it done and not have a bunch of separate purchases. I love the ability to download on the app. I'm a person who rides subways all the time, so anything I can download that I can look at later is good for me.
Like offline.
Yeah, exactly. So
right.
Like I have to download movies and stuff. Like it's hard. The worst thing ever is when there's drops and stuff like while I'm on the train. Like it would be the worst thing ever. But generally speaking, it's very smooth. The reading of the comics is so much faster because it doesn't have to load page to page, even when you don't download it. I feel like because this app is kind of like doesn't have all the ins and outs of the Veve app, like it doesn't have as much of a memory draw, and it just like goes when it comes to being able to read it, and the quality of that's good. I like that there's a recently purchased section, which is something we don't have in Veve, the regular app, outside of like the monetary purchase list, and then you have to click on them and go to them, and it's mixed
right.
with, so this is just like, oh, here's all my recently purchased. I can see which one I got, which actually is really good for this, because when you're buying multiple at once, you get to see them all at once on the screen.
That's true.
Yeah. There's lots of good stuff about it. I think that I just love to see something that is going to be directly linked to Marvel again. This is really like a sort of a love note to Veve from Marvel, showing a lot of trust, as opposed to sort of being on our platform. This really feels like a partnership here.
100% for sure, right? Keo, how about you? What was your first impression on the launch day and everything from being behind the scenes as a beta tester?
Sure. It was add to cart, add to cart, add to cart.
That was your first impression.
Yeah, pretty overwhelming. It was amazing to see it come to life and to be live like that. Through the beta testing, it was quite a bit different, landscape and things, as probably but to see it live like that, it was like Mach 20. I was in there trying to buy all these different comics. Loved the navigation. For me, everything worked pretty smoothly, and things. I mean, I loved the ease of being able to sort some of the books. Just really, I thought it was refreshing to see a new way to purchase, a little bit more latitude than just having one singular drop. It's quite overwhelming because I love my local LCSs, and it kind of brought me back to that, like walking in on a Wednesday, or having some a pull list or so. I mean, it's pretty amazing to have that many books available at once. That's something
Right.
very different than what we're used to on the app. But yeah, just absolutely loved it. It was incredible. So.
For sure. Michael, let's get to you now. From where you came from and the whole process of the beta testing to day one launch, how do you think it rolled out for you? What was your impression?
Yeah, pretty smoothly. I have to say that before I get there, I'm fairly new, like a year and a half, 2 years now, collecting actual physical comics.
Oh, yeah.
Organizing those things is insane. It's extremely hard. I didn't start it the right way, so I was just buying and stocking boxes, and I didn't keep track of those. So now in the app, it's very easy for me to go, hey, Siri, Spider-Man Boy, number 1 through 6, or whatever it has released. So it's extremely easy for me to find anything that I want, that I want to keep track of. So that part I fell in love immediately with. And then the flow of the app and how easy it is to find any comics that they post, what is selling that week, what is trending, the way they put the whole app together and the reader is extremely well. So I'm very happy with it at this point.
Yeah, that's awesome, man, for sure. And Mr. MC1, you were down at the event. How did it roll out for you there and everybody there? Like, how was the impression there? 'Cause we're all at our computers and at home, and you're at an event. So how did that go?
Yeah, a couple of things, 3 things I would point out. First one is just the engagement and the interaction between the Veve team and the Marvel team. So you had CB and Tom from the Marvel, along with a couple of the artists, and just seeing them interact with David and Dan was really very interesting. They were, both parties knew that this was a very historic, big event. And, they timed it with announcing the X-Men reboot and the 3 different series for the X-Men. So that the first thing to call out is just that interaction and that camaraderie and that, historic significance of it between Veve and Marvel was just very interesting to see. That was sort of my first impressions. Oh my God, these guys are really, really close. They work together and they're both building something very big together, and they're partners and they're equals in this thing. This is so first thing. Second thing for me would be, a massive congratulations is sort of what that whole thing was for the team. So Dan is the guy who, David obviously is the deal guy, but Dan's the guy who got this built, right? It's his vision of how do you take someone who's digitally savvy but not into NFTs and to create that journey. Having worked at Amazon, I have a sense for customer journeys, and there are good customer journeys and there are average customer journeys, and the bad ones fail. And this one for me felt like, oh my God, the way they've curated this whole experience. Because I've been in the beta, so the first impression, that was incredible. And then the third thing I would tell you is it's a massive step function. The first impression of this whole Marvel Comics, Veve Comics, is it's just steeped in something so significant. It's about taking everyday because if you look at Marvel the way and Veve the way they've worked, you had these comics dropping occasionally. They were historical comics. Suddenly it's X-Men. Suddenly it's Deadpool. It's Fantastic Four, it's Silver Age, Bronze Age, all this type of stuff. A modern comic, they're all mixed. But when you look at what they've done now, they're taking pretty much every comic run that's current and putting it in a non-NFT but digital format, the electronic comic, right? License is what it is, ECL. So they have this ECL version of this comic for every new comic. So now suddenly you have a whole plethora of digital comic or comic readers who can come in and follow a story arc. They can come in to read the comic. Every week they have a reason to look forward to the Wednesday to see the new comic, to get the new comic, and to engage digitally with Veve and Marvel. And oh, by the way, if they upgrade and get in the NFTs, that's great. So I think it's a great ramp for that. but just those three things for me were very, very massive, and I wanted to
Right.
shout out the team as well there.
That is awesome. All right. That's so cool. Topic 3, really quick, you guys. Just give me one of your favorite features that you like about it. I mean, you've seen these things built from the start. And also, did you have an impact about that feature coming to the actual platform as beta testers? Like, so was there a feature that was like, that was my idea? I want to know about that. Let's start with you, Damon. Did you suggest anything, or if not, what's one of your favorite features? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely suggested probably a small laundry list of things.
That's good. Yeah.
I can't even remember which ones because it was a whole bunch, but I'd say that as to sort of just little things that needed fixing, I'd say that most of them, sort of came out a lot smoother. I'd say there's still a couple of little things about it. But generally speaking, I guess I already mentioned, a lot of the things I love about it in that first one.
Just give us one that really stands out for you that you might think. And I know you might all say the same thing, but yeah.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I would say for the app itself, it is just, I think like Mr. MC once said, it's just like how it's all sort of smooth and put together. And it's just like, it's consolidated. It's everything we need. It's like all between the searchability, being able to go to all your downloads, your recently purchased, all your comics, the fact that it is linked to your Veve account. So when you buy comics in your Veve regular app, they're showing up here in the comics app immediately. And from what I saw, it's basically instant that they pop up in your library. So I think that's a great smooth aspect, and that you can jump easily to the regular app. Anything that needs you to, or go to your profile or whatever, it jumps you immediately to the app itself. I think it's all really good. I mean, again, like there will be things that need smoothing out. I mean, least of all the purchasing process, but or most of all, I guess. But overall, I'd say that they seem to have taken things to heart from our small group of beta testers and smoothed out some edges.
That's awesome. Keo, what about yourself right here? Let's get you up on, and what are some of your favorite features that you actually saw from day one here that's dropped?
Sure. Yeah, I love the sort features and things. I love to be able to sort between writers and artists, publishing date.
Yeah.
I think that's really keen, and to be able to bring up the whole series is super helpful too.
Yeah, that's right. You can bring up the whole series when you're searching on it. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I really like that to be able to be broken down. I noticed it wasn't quite in alphabetical order, so I'm not sure about that. But there were a lot of things we suggested. It was a lot of just smaller navigational stuff that I think we kind of covered. But like I said, comparatively to what we were beta testing to what was launched, just really impressive. The smooth, the how fluid it was, and a lot of links to the app, which is awesome. It brings more people to the app as well. Really keen. I think it was really well done. Of course, there's some things that still need to be worked out, as with everything. But yeah, I think as far as the initial framework, it's really amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. How about you, Michael? Let's hit you next on this one.
Yeah, it's very similar. I really like how this app is its own app, but it's also linked to the Veve app. So you find yourself buying something here and immediately being in the Veve app. And the other way around, you're in the Veve app, opening a comic, you want to find out more, and they send you back to this Veve comic app. So I like how the link in between those two. One thing that I suggested that I hope comes in the future is
here we go.
some sort of animation, like a cover animated or something like that. That would be cool, but that's down the line.
Yeah. Animated cover. I like that. Sanjay, how about yourself?
Yeah, so for me, I'd have to say it's the reader. The ability to very quickly go from a digital comic purchase into a reader to read it, and the way in which it's got the structure where you can there's dynamic panels and you can flow from panel to panel, and that flexibility in how you read a comic. If you want to read the whole page, you can. If you want to go panel to panel, you can. So very impressed with that functionality. I think they've done an incredible job with how they built that. And like Michael, I'd say, I'd love to see a lot more AI used in it, and to see some degree of animation. He wants to see animation of the cover. I want to see the animation of the whole comic. You know what I mean? But hey, listen, we're Veve fam. There's never a day when
that's
we're
called a movie,
100%
right?
satisfied. There's always a list. There's always a list.
Exactly. That's awesome. For sure. Hopefully we get that. Let's move on to the next quick topic right here. Onboarding new users. So I want to get you guys' impressions about what you think this could do to onboard new users to the Veve app. Mr. MC1, let's stay with you and go back the other direction right here. How do you feel this could impact us getting more users in the app, specifically those comic book heads who, have been traditionally a little bit reserved, hesitant to get into digital? This is another way that they can continue to read those news stories, right? So what do you think about this? How's this going to work?
Yeah, so if you think about collector at heart, and that not the entire human population collects. So the old Veve, the way it was structured, you had to first find people who were on the blockchain and cared about NFTs, and then amongst those, you had to find people who collect, right? But now what you've done is you're not as focused on collecting as much as you're focused on reading. You're focused. That's the first aspect, right? So it's the reading focus. The second part of it is the digital focus. So there are already lots and lots of people who read Marvel comics, the most current comics, and go week to week and read that.
Yeah.
So to be able to bring in those people, there used to be a lag, right? You could buy the physical comic now, or you can read it digitally and 3 weeks later on Marvel Comics Unlimited. So now you have that ability for people to digitally native people or not into NFTs to read comics. So to me, that's a big new population of comic readers, not collectors, who are coming in. And now you have some kind of a playful mechanism for them to get into NFTs and go on to the main Veve app. So you have a Veve Comics app, and then you have a Veve app. And so you've created this, it's almost like a network effect or a flywheel, if you will, right?
Right.
So the more people that you bring in as readers, you're now able to bring them into collecting. And the more people that you have in collecting, the more you're attracting people as readers in. And so that to me, and it's very cerebral, it's highly strategic. And I wanted to point that out. So now where you were fishing in a very small pool and a barrel of just trying to bring in collectors,
Right.
now you're fishing in a very big digital pool of readers. And it's very exciting. I think obviously time will tell how it works and how successful it is. There's many other threads to it, because you can now have a barcode on a comic or on a toy or anything that can bring someone into an electronic comic. And you can also then take people from the digital or an electronic comic into other physical toys or into NFTs. So it's just this middle layer that they've created together. Brilliant. Let me leave it there.
Yeah, David, how about you? We'll jump over to you real quick here. Yeah.
Sure. Like I said in the beginning, I got here because of looking for an ability to use fiat, to use non-crypto to buy stuff. So, and I think that will, at least for the next number of years, be one of the most important things to onboard just the general public. And I understand, and I'm way behind Veve's decision to distance itself from the term NFT, and use the term digital collectible, which it is as well. It's not being, anything other than the facts still, and makes people more comfortable. And as to comic users themselves, or comic collectors in the physical realm, it's an uphill battle. Anyone who's ever tried to talk to a dude in a comic shop about Veve knows that there's a lot of resistance. That I think that the better and better these links get, just like exactly what we got with this app, the more likely they are to get on board, especially you know, the new collectors, you know, the ones that are just going to their comic shop still and grabbing the new comic. Like, I really feel like this is going to break down that wall. It will take a little time. But, you know, I think that the younger people are still reading physical comics, but I think that, you know, their world has turned digital, and this is, you know, going down that road at a faster pace than anyone else. And I think we're going to get a lot of people out of it.
For sure. Keo, how about you with how do you think this app is going to help onboard new users?
I think that this is a monumental step into bridging the gap between digital and physical.
Yeah.
You know, I still have friends that, you know, they've got 50 to 100 long boxes of comics, and you know, they they still read their comics with gloves. You know?
Oh yeah.
You know? So it's hilarious. And, you know, I think this is a step in the right direction towards, you know, I guess adoption or bringing on new users. I love the way that this new site, this Veve Comics site, is being able to bring and migrate people over to the app, you know, and to give them the option of maybe owning or in purchasing, you know, these unique covers and, you know, these other variants. You know, I think that, again, I think it's an incredible conduit, again, to easing people and new users into the digital collectible realm, you know. So I think 100%. It's a really an awesome, monumental step in the right direction. So, you know, I think it's yeah.
That's great. Yeah. And Michael, since you mentioned yourself that, you know, your physical comic collecting journey is not that long, but you look on your wall right there, it's pretty impressive already behind you. So how do you think this is going to help bring in some new users to the app? You know, do you concur with like what everybody else is saying? I would agree.
yeah, I agree with whatever. So I would just like to add, now that I'm a physical collector, I'm in the comic shop every Wednesday.
Yeah,
picking up new comics. So I'm gonna be on board new people, because when I'm picking my new fresh comic, I'm gonna be showing people, hey, look, this is brand new. You can go to the app and get it. A step forward. I'm always looking forward, just like with the animation in the comic. Let me get my comic in the app and let me gift it to somebody. Let me be an ambassador and let me give away comics to people at the comic store when I am there. That will help me out.
So that's like, you know, we have a role to play. Yeah. I like that. And you can, you can be one of the people to help on board. Sanjay, just before we move on to this topic right here, I wanted to ask you, since you were down around Dan and Dave and the whole team and everything like that, what are their impressions about, just quickly, we don't have a ton of time, but what are their thoughts about how this could onboard new users too, since you're just around them so much in the last
they seem, you know, it's very exciting. I heard from both David, Dan, and Marvel that they're very excited to be able to bring in digitally audiences into this. I don't really have any other perspective on it other than they seem very excited.
Right. Yeah.
It's definitely a play at new users.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, let's get on to the next topic right here, which is future opportunities for Veve. This kind of ties in a little bit to the new users, but this kind of website that's come up, this kind of app, you know, we did see the ability to have like larger size books coming in there, all sorts of stuff, different like comic publishers. These are some of the things that I think could come from it. While you guys were beta testing, and I'll start with you, Damon, when we were beta testing and stuff, did you guys have discussions about like what the future of this app could turn into, this platform? We mentioned barcodes, right? Sanjay, you mentioned that, these kind of things. So, you know, getting maybe different kinds of collectibles through here. And also, one little side thing to put in the back of your head, this is Veve Comics with the green logo. People have been speculating about the other colored logos and what other things could happen, you know, like Veve Music and all that. So just that in your head, what does this make you think about future opportunities for Veve here?
Oh man, I mean, you know, obviously there was,
right?
Yeah, I mean, there was and is and will forever be lots of speculation as to what they could bring. I mean, obviously one of the most, I think, common one that we, you know, talked about or everyone probably thought is, you know, Fidgetals, where it would be the reverse, where eventually perhaps, you know, buying the comic gives you a digital download. something like
Right.
that. Obviously, those would be higher edition or something. But you know, this is already common practice with you know, movies and with albums. When you buy a physical like vinyl record, that it comes with a digital download, you know, stuff like that. Now, most likely stuff like that would come with the digital non-collectible version, so that you would get the, you know, you wouldn't get necessarily the digital collectible version, just the digital readable version, but it would bring them into the app, right? And then they'd see that they have the option to really own it and buy it and sell it. I think that would be great. I think, you know, I saw graphic novels on there. I cannot wait to get graphic novels. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And this opens the door to eventually manga or anything else to be sort of the type of thing we do on here. But in the end, I feel like other publishers and everything else, I mean, this like Veve in general in the beginning is a proof of concept. And when people see that it works, and, you know, community and everything else, like other, you know, hopefully, cross fingers, we get, you know, a whole bunch of other, you know, comic brands besides that can do this stuff. Like, I know right now it is a Marvel thing, but it seems like from what they've said, that it's open to new ones. Like, you know, without, you know, trust me, this is all just speculative, but bring me Dark Horse, bring me, you know, everything, or even bring me the old, you know, like, I guess it's all new stuff, but yeah, bring me the new stuff from any company. Right. But in the future, we're going to see, I think that, you know, all roads lead to success. And if this is the successful thing that it certainly can be, everyone's going to want to be a part.
For sure. Keo, let's jump on you right here. And what you think about what this could open up for Veve, this kind of site, and the way that they're actually, more importantly too, the structure behind it, I think is really interesting. You know, what are your impressions on that?
Yeah. So, you know, I think that, you know, anything that encourages us to open books and to open up comic books and actually not just collect, but to read them, you know, is a really positive thing. And, you know, with new releases, you know, I think that that really helps with the longevity of the app and, you know, the whole comic collecting world, you know, and to be able to bring that to present is pretty amazing. It opens up the future to books, just like kind of what Damon mentioned, you know, books and graphic novels, and, you know, any of that print media, I think is potentially, you know, something that we could see, you know, I don't know. And, you know, I have hopes of that, but we shall see, you know, it can go into so many different directions, you know, so.
For sure. Hey, Michael, what about yourself? You know, you'll be showing the app to everybody on Wednesday, and no, but aside from that, like this kind of structure that you guys have tested and built, and I want to touch on that a little bit more too about your testing experience, right? But yeah, how about the future opportunities you think can come from this?
Yeah, really quick, cell phones. Like when cell phones came out, you could remove the back of the full cell phone, take the battery out, and replace the battery, and people were happy at that. They took that away, and people got really mad. Hey, you cannot do this. I want to control over my batteries. Okay, then they did the same with the micro SD card. People went up, oh, I want to be able to control how many gigabytes I have in here. People didn't like it. They are in now. Then they took the wires from the headphones, and people were going crazy. Hey, I don't want these earbuds. I want to be able to put wires. Now I need to charge the thing. Now everybody's using it. So change is going to come no matter what. Change is coming for everything, and that's the way it works. One thing that I'm really hoping that comes to Veve, I like collecting and all this stuff, but I'm a frustrated musician. I wanted to be a musician my whole life, so I am really hoping that Veve can do something similar, like they just did here with comics, with music. Release albums and release just music for artists, popular artists that people like, Michael Jackson, Beatles, I mean, whatever. Just release an app that I can collect my music, have my vinyls, just put them away and enjoy them and really have them. So I'm really hoping that they can pull something like that.
That's amazing. And Sanjay, you're next.
Yeah, you know, there's the points that they've all brought up. I would say a couple of things. One is the opportunity to engage the comic reading fan in a manner in which they can get signatures, digital signatures, or other forms of engagement that more than just a signature, but digital engagement with the artists, with the the writers and stuff like that. So that to me would be one form, and it could be like, great, you read the comic. If you want to get a signature and if you want to do this, you have to own the NFT, right, or the digital collectible.
Right.
And so that would be one form of engagement, which kind of pulls people in there. Another one would be you can tie in collectibles and comics together, because a lot of times you have these comics, and in the comic there could be some character or something where you can then. So Vivi is eventually going to be in multiple categories, right? If you even think about Amazon and the growth of Amazon, it was like people who came to buy books at Amazon then went and bought bookshelves, and then they bought something else, and they bought so that multi-category engagement with fans. So fans come in for one category and then they move to others. So that would be another one. And then obviously the physical digital kind of piece, where if you buy the digital you get the physical, or if you have the physical you get the digital. So you're able to mix audiences. It's not just a Vivi thing. This is a Vivi and Marvel thing and a Vivi and other licensor thing. So there's a lot of such things. And then you can go from like Michael said, from comics to music, or comics to movies. If you get this comic, you're entered into something where you get eligible to get tickets, or to parks. There are just so many opportunities that are waiting to be had. I mean, if I were Vivi and Marvel, now that you've got this baseline, I would have one team just focused on growing this business of just the comic reading and going to NFTs, and then a whole separate team on monetizing it and creating that cross traffic. Let me pause there, man. But those are some ideas that I had for what's next in terms of incremental opportunities.
That's awesome, man. We have about 10 minutes to go, so we're going to zip through these ones before the store opens up again, and we're all going to start buying. So really quickly on that, if you guys could quickly talk right here. Damon, really quickly on digital and physical. So we did mention how there could be some combinations with that, with how Vivi started to do that with their physical books. We saw that Superior Spider-Man comic that's now a digital, that we got the physical one at New York. What are your thoughts with the digital and physical aspect that they could accomplish here?
I mean, sky's the limit, because these are new releases, right? There could be any number of tie-ins to one or the other, and basically people are already doing that thing with the 1 of 10s, 1 of 20s, 1 of 100 comics that a comic book store gets. I mean, that's kind of like the rarities already. These can come out super fast because they're not the Vivi exclusive covers. These are already existing covers, variants, I believe, right? I think all of these. So that, we can really get all these different artists that we already like in the physical world, in the digital. Like, I'm an old school comic guy. I bought comics as a kid. I unfortunately sold most of them. Vivi's helped me recapture it. But so I tend to go more towards the Silver Age stuff and the Bronze Age stuff. But like, this is waking me up to the new stuff, which will make me want to go actually buy more of the physical new comics as well. And I think that, one feeds the other. And I think that'll be great coming forward.
Yeah, that's a great point. How about you, Keo? Are you looking at matching some of these up in the app, the digital and physical with the physical stuff? And it's a really cool thing now. You can have both. I mean, look at our walls, right?
Yeah, I don't like physical much,
Yeah, you're not a physical. Yeah, you're all digital now. No,
I love physical and digital. I enjoy matching them, and it's the hunt, the pursuit, right? Is
right.
Nice, but I've said to our Vivi fam for a long time, probably years now, that the day that digital catches up to the physical drops is the day that Vivi has arrived and digital has arrived. And I didn't think I was going to see it this quickly. I thought it was going to be years and years out, just because there's been such, we're so traditionally geared towards the Wednesday comic book day and comic drops and all that, and as babies are born, that's all they're going to know. They're going to grow up knowing, wow, you could buy the physical and the digital, so it's gonna become more and more as time passes, more and more of I think a more adopted scenario and options. So the outlook again with this new Vivi Comics site is in my eyes, pretty monumental. Really an amazing accomplishment. So, yeah.
100%. Michael, let's chime in with you right here about that. Are you still going to be now even more? You mentioned the comic book shop. I know what you're going to say about the digital physical combination, but
well, interestingly enough, I have been doing that with the app. If you see behind me,
right,
I have been trying to mash the physicals that we have in the shop, Veve, with the small artists that we got at the store. So Frank Kozit and Jermaine Rogers, Tokidoki. Like, I have been trying to match all of those. I really like having both things, and I think that Veve is doing really good in the front, like the Jermaine Rogers drop that they did recently, that you could get the Assassin Bunny, like there were like 5 varieties or something like that. But I would like to see more of that. I would like to see more empowerment on the artist side, that they can control more that side of it. Like the artist is more in charge of every release. We can have this physical stuff, and people can buy it if you buy the digital, and back and forth like that. Just like what the London police did recently with the poster on France and all that. I would like to see that more.
Yeah, for sure. And Sanjay.
Yeah, so I have like the multi-million-dollar idea for Marvel and Veve, and that's the only thing they should work on next, which is, if you think about the Wall Street Journal, they used to be only print, and then they had a subscription that covered print and digital together. So I would say for Veve and Marvel, the number one opportunity is to have a subscription, physical plus digital subscription, wherein, because if you think about collectors, they don't want to touch the physical copy and they want to read it. So if you, and they don't want to buy it one by one. So to the extent that you have, let's say, a comic run like Amazing Spider-Man or X-Men, Rise from the Ashes or whatever, you have like a 20 comic arc or 10 comic arc or something like that. So you set up a subscription, which is digital and physical. So your physical comic comes from whatever's the biggest, like Midtown Comics or whatever, direct. So that saves on distribution, and you get every copy. You don't have to keep going and keep putting in your credit card and keep buying it. Right now, it's a very transactional app. You have to buy everything one by one by one by one when you want all of them, and you want to read the whole arc. So create a subscription that includes digital and physical, where the physical comes to your house and the digital is available, and you prepay the whole thing, and you have auto renew. So to me, that would be a revenue multiplier like you would not believe.
That's a great point. Great idea for sure.
Yeah.
I guess you call that a digital pull list, right?
It's a phygital subscription.
Phygital pull list, like your pull list at your LCS, right?
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, except digitally.
They will triple their revenue.
I love it.
I'm going to combine these next two topics just for time right here. New release comics and the impact on the collecting for the Veve users. They're both kind of the same. I wanted to put them back to back. The fact that Vive's now doing new release comics as opposed to Silver Age and everything, on the Reader app, and what you guys think the impact is going to be on the Veve community in terms of their collecting style. And then we have another topic right after that. So let's go back to you, Damon, on this one. How do you think that the new release is going to impact people's collecting style on Veve?
Well, I mean, not everybody is in, as much as they're valuable, as far as reading comics, the old comics you talk about, like the comics from the 60s and 70s, are very different reads, very different experiences, what they look like, how the dialogue works, the references. And a lot of young people, it's just not their world. And maybe they get into it on a collecting level, but plus they're, valuable old things that most people, a lot of people just end up having, a slab and they never end up reading it. And I think with the newer comics, most people, or a lot of people at least, are reading the comics. And so this brings in the collectors of physical comics that also actually read them. I think that's right. More of a go to the comic shop on the Wednesday and actually read it at least once, maybe before they, carefully with gloves, right? Before they put it in the thing and ship it off to CGC or whatever, or just put it in a sleeve and never touch it again. But the impact on it, I think, will be an interesting thing to see, but I can't see it not slowly growing the base from younger people who are already more apt to get into digital collecting already.
Yeah, for sure. Keo, what do you think about this impact it's going to have on the Veve community?
New releases keeps collecting alive.
Yeah.
You know, without any new release, let's say they don't release anymore. I mean, of course, we can keep collecting all the ones. There's thousands and thousands to collect. Innumerable. But with new releases, it keeps collecting alive. And I just again,
I love that.
yeah, I'm impressed that they were able to push it this quickly, and happy to see it happen.
Yeah, that's amazing. How about yourself, Michael, as well? Like the fact that we get these new comics here now. What do you think it's going to do for people in the app and like their their style? I think you're muted right now. Hold on.
Yeah,
there you go. You're back.
Sorry. I already started seeing some people very excited about this. Mask is gonna start like every Monday. He's gonna have a show talking about what comics are coming and speculation.
Mask,
So the engagement is gonna be really good, and I'm pretty sure Sleeping is gonna come back and tell us more about comics. So
he's
that part
done a
is
video already, by the way. If you guys haven't seen his video, he put one out.
Extremely good. Sorry. So engagement is definitely gonna go up. I think every week they're expecting that Wednesday and what's coming and speculating on those new books. I'm happy that I can get my hands on Ultimate Spider-Man #1 because I have the physical and I went and got it, but I didn't have the digital, so now I have those.
Right.
I like the mean numbers. Only 1,000. I mean, the most you get is commons. I think it's 600 and 400. So I think we can eat that with what we have right now because most of us buy at least one comic of each for commons. So I think that overall is very positive.
Right, for sure. Sanjay, let's end the topic here with you. The impact you think it's going to have.
The collectors want the old stuff, the Golden Age, Silver Age stuff, Bronze Age stuff, and they're going to continue to get that on Veve through those regular drops that they do. Right. In addition to that, so that continues, and in addition to that, now you're bringing a reader base, right? People who read. Not necessarily collect. The number of readers is a lot more than the number of collectors, and it introduces readers to collecting. So that's like the very first impact. And I like what the guys are saying as well. By the way, I use an app called Key Collector. So the Key Collector app is a subscription, and it tells you every week which are the comics that are coming. It has a lot of information about first appearances stuff, and it also tells you which comics are coming in the future. So you can pick this week, see all the comics coming this week, next week. So I used to use that app quite extensively. I still do, actually, to look whenever I go to the LCS to decide which ones I'm going to pick up and which ones I'm going to not pick up and which future ones do I want to order. I also look at sort of the variants and stuff. So to me, now you start using Geek Collector for Veve, man.
That's right. That's absolutely awesome. We got 2 more topics and about 5 minutes to go, guys. Let's get into this right here. These can go together. I'm going to ask them at the same time. Keo, we'll start with you just to kind of mix it up a little bit. Any improvements you think that the app could, that the platform could make right here that you guys are still, because as testers, it's important. And just your favorite comic that you're going to be going off with right there that you're going to go after with some final thoughts, if you don't mind.
Sure. Yeah, one of the improvements or changes I think they could I noticed is that when you're actually purchasing a limited edition book, then I would like to see all of the covers, that are available, and which ones, I have an opportunity to get, So I think that would be that should be visible. And things is, one of the only things, again, I mentioned earlier I'm not sure that the sort on the artists and the writers was alphabetized or not.
Okay.
Just small quirky things like that
Sure.
I'm sure are simple, should be simple fixes for them. But
and Damon, how about you, Damon, as well, for an improvement?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, and the obvious too with the payment issue, but. I know that they have teams working on that currently. So, hopefully they'll get that well taken care of soon. And I guess it's going to happen soon, right? So
at 12 noon. Yeah, David, what little?
We got to end this quickly.
Yeah, better hurry. I'd say improvements. There's a couple things. I think with the search, there's some things that still don't come up if you put up for someone's name, maybe some of their things come up and others don't. So I think that just needs to be streamlined. I'd say the one thing that I'm sure some other people have noticed, unless you bought the comics one at a time, the price paid for a comic is the whole bundle you paid.
Yes, on the Veve app later.
Yeah, on the Veve app later. So that's something that needs to be somehow dealt with, I think, because when you look at a comic and you're looking to sell it, especially, knowing what you paid for it is important. And when you buy as much as most of us in this room buy, it's hard to keep track unless you're making a spreadsheet, which I'm sorry to say, I don't do. And as to my favorite stuff that I like on here, or the new ones,
we'll get to that in just a sec. Yeah, let's get to that.
Okay, I thought we were combining them. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, we were, but let's end it. We'll end it on that. It's funner. And Michael, what about you for an improvement you think that they could do? As you know, you guys are the testers, right? So you guys are the ones.
Yeah, an easier way to find the artists and their covers and stuff. Like I put Peach Momoko and I couldn't find, so I have to go comic by comic, 299 comics, and look at each rarity to find out which ones were Peach Momoko. Well, it doesn't say it even when you hit the upgrade or whatever. So do you know by cover the style? Like Scotty Young is super easy to find.
Yeah. So
I will have to go and find it individual. So more details, more information. When you're trying to upgrade, hey, this is Scotty Young, this is this artist, this is, so a little more information in there. Yeah,
for sure. And how about you, Sanjay, Mr. MC1? Are you what little things that they could improve right now? Something to end with here for you.
I think it'd be great if they can improve the payments process in terms of being able to buy quicker, one click. I like one click kind of options.
Right.
I don't want to be putting my credit card and this, that, and the other over and over again. Just give me one click, and I want to go click, 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 click. And have it all. Totally, man.
It's like a fast draw in the West,
Yeah, and by the way, I do want to call out one other thing I don't think we've covered before is the collaborative filtering. So when you pick up a comic, below it shows that what's the next comic in the run. If you like this comic, what other comics would you like? That's collaborative filtering. I know, having worked at Amazon, it's a very, very cool feature, and I really do like that feature as well. So shout out to the team for doing that. I know you're talking about improvements, but I want to make sure I shout that out.
No, that's awesome for sure. So on the last thing, because now, just so you know, guys, check the site because the payments should be available very shortly here if you're on the Veve Comics. So make sure you get in there, guys, if you're watching, if you're going to go after the comics. The last one we have right here, just quick final thoughts and the comic you're going to go after, because I have a list of ones that I'm going after. Let's start with Mr. MC1, since we just finished with you there, because I know you're on the road. What is the comic you're going to go after in the app, and your quick final thoughts?
Yeah, congratulations to everybody. Love it, and I'm not going to tell you.
Secret. Oh, Michael, how about you?
I've found 16 Scotty Youngs and 22 Peach Momoko, so I'm after that.
You're after those ones for sure. Yeah. I know I know people are trying to combine them all and figure out which ones, so we can, because there's a lot of comics to go through, and we'll have those videos coming out too. Keo, what about you? What are you doing? And
I would say Peach Momoko. There's too many to list, Smash, it's nice to there's quite a few that I'm gonna probably try to scoop up. So yeah,
for sure. And Damon, how about yourself?
I actually got a number of things that I was hoping for yesterday, either by drop or I did buy some stuff in the market, which I know is very risky considering that most of them weren't sold. But if I saw a good, number or whatever. Yeah. But for me, definitely I'm going to be lame like everyone and say I do love Peach's covers. So I'm definitely for them. I am going to try for a couple of the ones that showed sold out or in cart. Like I'm going to try for the Ultimate Spider-Man again. And we'll see what happens. But I'm excited. And the final thoughts is I'm super excited for all of this and enjoying this new aspect to the comics.
That's awesome for sure. Yeah. Any final thoughts from anybody here? Sanjay, you want to give us your final thoughts about everything? Really
historic day. Tremendous work by the team, and looking forward to a very bright future.
Very nicely said. There you go. It's totally true. Michael, how about yourself?
Good luck, everyone, getting comics. The bonanza time is about to start, so good luck. Hopefully, you get something that you really like and enjoy, and stick around. It's a fun ride.
Keto, what about you? Final thoughts from you today.
First, I want to say thank you again, MyCollectables, for hosting this space. You do so much for the community, and it's greatly appreciated. Thank you to the Veve team as well for putting this forth so quickly. Again, I didn't think that this was going to come to fruition this fast. Just amazing. And good luck to everybody on this. Veve Comics.
Yep.
This is the way.
That is awesome, you guys. Oh, you guys. Well, this has been so great right here, you guys. I want to thank you all, first of all, for coming here, taking the time out of your day. We'll get into the Veve comic book app now, start to see if there's any stuff we can get. And my quick final thoughts is this is super historic. You guys were a huge part of it. We'll ask you more as time goes on about what your experience was like with the testing. And I know everyone wants to know, and I know you can't answer, are you testing anything right now? And you can't talk about it, I'm sure, but
I'm gonna test how fast my internet is buying comics.
Seriously.
Well, everybody, make sure that you're following all of these great guys right here in the community. You guys do so much, and thank you so much for doing that, for the time that you spend, and for coming out here today. This is the first. I'd love to have you guys back and talk about all sorts of stuff if you don't mind. And just pass on our thanks to the team. I know you guys are, because you're in the beta tester group there before, you guys are obviously talking to people. Pass on my thanks to the team and all of us, because this is just a revolutionary moment in Veve's history.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's it, guys. All right. Thanks for coming out.
See you in the marketplace.
Yeah, we'll see you in the market. And have a safe
Friday.
Friday.
Thank you very much, MC, for hosting. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right. Cheers, guys. Happy collecting.
Take care.